Welcome to the Muscles and Veggies Fitness Podcast. This is where you get nutrition, health, fitness, all perfectly packaged together in a bite-sized podcast to help educate and motivate you to stay on your fitness journey. Today, we have a small, short little podcast that we're going to do on minerals. Everyone is sleeping on electrolytes and minerals. Unless you are an Ironman athlete or a marathon runner, some kind of triathlete, a lot of people do not know the science and the biology of why electrolytes and our water, and structured water, and why it's so important for our body. Think about this for a second. Proper hydration is crucial. And actually, the key foundation of proper hydration is electrolytes and the minerals that are involved in that process inside of the body. Energy metabolism in the body, it's crucial. We have to have it to make ATP or energy. It is done using electrolytes and minerals. Nervous system, our stress, it is also affected by mineral depletion. And finally, haven't we been talking about this enough, and we're probably mostly burnt out on it, but immunity. Our immune system relies heavily on certain key electrolytes. Now, when I was sitting down to design this podcast today, I wanted to get into like the sodium potassium pump and how we have to have sodium and potassium to make ATP inside the cell. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is just too much, right? It's just too much for the average person to wrap their mind around this. So I'm going to make this really simple. We need water to get inside of our cells. The 100 trillion cells that make up our body, we need water to get inside of them. We drink water, it goes down into the stomach, into the gastrointestinal system, and then it gets into our bloodstream, right? A lot of times in the blood, it's called plasma. This is called extracellular fluid. How do we get it into the cell, though? We have to have sodium and potassium to get it into the cell. And why do we want it in the cell? Well, we want water into the cell because old water is forced out and new water is brought in by sodium and potassium. So when the cell is doing its work and it's grinding and it's taking molecules of fats and proteins and carbs and it's making energy or ATP, there's byproducts and lactic acid and different things that build up in the cell. The new water comes in and flushes the old water out. The old water takes out the byproducts and the trash, puts that into the bloodstream, goes through the kidneys. The kidneys filter that out, goes through the bladder, and we excrete that out in our urine, right? We take out the trash. That's how the process works. How do we get that into the cell, though? How do we get the water to hydrate the cell? Take a second and think about this. When you look at cancer cells under a microscope, they are the most dehydrated cells in the human body. So proper hydration, and I'll make the case that even myself sitting here, 99% of us are not properly hydrated. And there's a lot of factors on why that is. Modern agriculture has completely stripped our soil of most of the key minerals. So if you don't have an organic garden growing in your backyard and you're eating a lot of modern agricultural food, it's minerally deficient from what it's supposed to be. Not minerally devoid completely, but it's minerally deficient on what it's supposed to be, and that's because of the problems with modern agriculture. The other reason we struggle with minerals and electrolytes is our water. Now, granted, city water has given us a great function and given us safe tap water for bathing and consuming. Great. However, along the way, it's lost a lot of its electrolytes and minerals because of filtration and the processing that goes through a water treatment process. So, and they're working on that. They're trying to fix that, but these two main reasons is why. I'm going to give you a third one. And this goes for all you athletes, all you meatheads in the gym, all you endurance athletes, or this goes for the soccer mom that is super stressed and just has a lot on her plate. stress and overtraining deplete our minerals, primarily sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. So what can we do to properly hydrate the body to make sure that we're staying ahead of the game, right? In endurance sports, anybody who's ever done a race or a triathlon or something, you know that in that race, deep into that race, if you don't consume electrolytes with your water, you're going to start cramping up, your muscles are going to spasm, your energy is going to tank, and you are going to bonk. You are going to hit a wall. And anyone who's ever had that happen, or they've seen that happen to someone, they know what I'm talking about. Well, us walking around on a daily basis, if we have a lot of stress and we're like doing CrossFit and we're doing Orange Theory and we're doing all this high intensity stuff, and you have like kids at home and you have a job or a business or whatever, all this stress is depleting you and you're on the verge of a bonk or hitting a wall, just like the athlete in the race, all the time, chronically. And this is how you really stress out the body and stress out the adrenal system. Chronic cortisol, chronic adrenal function, norepinephrine and epinephrine, you can look it all up. It's no bueno, okay? So we want to remineralize the body, rehydrate the body, de-stress the body. This is how we cultivate health and fitness, okay? So how do we do that? First, we can focus on eating mineral-rich foods. What are mineral-rich foods? You know it. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, meat, fish, fowl, right? Our one ingredient whole foods are the most minerally rich foods that we can consume, primarily fruits and vegetables. They actually carry water alongside all the minerals that they sucked up from the soil. They carry the water inside of them that's super hydrating, and the minerals alongside it. That's why just eating fruits and vegetables rehydrates us really, really well, despite what we drink, which we're going to get to that in a second, what we drink. Next, juicing fruits and vegetables. There's a reason why cancer clinics across the world, one of the main thing in alternative cancer clinics they use is juicing. And that's because it's a great way to hydrate the cells. It's also a great way to pack a lot of vitamins, nutrients, antioxidants, polyphenols, minerals, all that into the body in a large way. And that's just super concentrating fruits and vegetables, all the good stuff out of them, leaving the fiber and making that into a big tall glass. If you don't have a juicer, you can pick one up for really cheap. They're real easy. It's awesome. So next, we can supplement with electrolyte powders. LMNT, no affiliation with them, but LMNT, Element, is a great one. I also make my own electrolyte powder. I take Himalayan sea salt and squeeze a whole lime into a big tall jug of water that I use. I'll even take magnesium biglycinate from Thorn, and I'll put that in there. I'll put that in there together with it. So we have sodium from the salt, potassium from the lime, and now magnesium alongside it. Great way to rehydrate the body, to make sure you're staying ahead, especially when it's hot, man. We're sweating, we're working. You're pushing out a lot of your minerals by doing so. Next, lastly, I want to talk about Biomins. Is a really, really great supplement from Thorn. This is a combination of calcium, iron, iodine, magnesium, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese, chromium, molybdenum, boron. This is a great mineral complex to just keep your minerals up all the time on a daily basis. I started this back up a couple weeks ago. Why did I start this back up? I had COVID a couple weeks ago. Yes, I said the C word, COVID. And it really depletes the body of minerals, majorly in zinc. And zinc is so important for our immune system. So if you feel like you've been exposed to somebody with the C word, take some zinc. The best way we can like stay hydrated and boost our immune system, I would be juicing and taking zinc. Okay? Maybe I should have been doing that, or I wouldn't have got the C word. So take all of this and put it into your back pocket with this reminder that I want to stay hydrated, but I can't just drink lots of water to stay hydrated. I have to remineralize the water, whether that's with an electrolyte supplement or whether I make my own. I have to remineralize my water. Anytime I don't like bottled water because I don't like all the plastic, but anytime I ever drink bottled water, I always will reach for a spring water, because spring water still has the minerals from the spring it came out of. Most bottled water companies are filtered water, not spring water. So there's a quick tip if you're out and you want to make sure that you're getting a water that will hydrate you. Keep a little bag of sea salt in your car. Grab a water. You can add that sea salt to the water. It will help remineralize it, especially if you're an athlete. This is crucial. So look, magnesium and Biomins, you can pick these up off thorn.com. Thorn.com. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast and you want 25% off thorn.com products, I highly encourage you to email me and say, I would like to join your client invite list. I'll give you 25% off the whole store for life, not just once, on these supplements. And also, if you like what you're hearing on this podcast, share it with somebody. Leave me a review. If you have a question or you want to hear a certain topic, also shoot me an email, musclesandveggies, all one word, @gmail.com. Listen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for taking your valuable time and tuning in today. This is Zach, your host of the Muscles and Veggies Fitness Podcast, wishing you a great day.